welcome back to Waiting in Laodicea. I'm your host, A.T. Martinez, and today I want to talk to you about some articles I've read. The first article that comes from the Babylon Bee. Now, what it does is it shows us a crackdown, supposedly in China, on Christian churches. Now, the Bee hints that the idea behind the story is this would never happen here. And the idea is a tongue-in-cheek sarcasm to point out this is a possibility here. Now, I know people are out there sitting there saying, oh, come on, AT, that's not going to happen in the United States. Isn't it? You know, over the years of my life, I've heard different people saying, oh, that's not going to happen here. I've heard people talk about how no, that's not what's going to happen. You talk about a slippery slope. They're going to do this. No, it's all in your head. No, actually, it's not in my head. I remember whenever they were first talking about trying to, quote unquote, grant gay rights. The idea was, the opponents of this said, this is going to lead to people wanting, polytheism. This is going to lead to a rise in pedophilia and all these other cases. And the opponents, the supporters of the legislation sat back and said, you guys don't know what you're talking about. It's not going to be like that. Well, okay. So far, polytheism hasn't been looked on favorably. Pedophilia, though, is now being looked at favorably by many. There's a movement across the country to make it legal. The point is, sometimes it is a slippery slope. They say they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that, but yet, over this last year, how many churches in the United States have had the government walk up and put notices and telling them no more? How many times when Christians gathered in this last year were they arrested? I know you're going to sit back and say, AT, that they were breaking the law. They were not worshiping at the right time and the place, and they were not maintaining social distance. They didn't have their masks on. They were breaking the rules. And you'd look at an example of the minister in Canada who kicked the police out. Well, they closed his church. Well, he responded. Now he's meeting elsewhere with his congregation. The point is, yeah, they are coming, okay, for COVID. I know some of you will say that's an excuse that trumps everything, because what good is it to be a good person if you're going to die from COVID? Now, I'm not going to go into the probabilities of dying from COVID or any of the other aspects of it. I do know that what type of life is it that we have if we can't even worship our own lords? If you can't have your rights in order to keep society safe, then is it really the society we want to be part of? That's neither here nor there. Let's take a look at two other examples. Number one, coming from the Christian headline news. We see a story of a Christian minister who was arrested in London for simply talking about what the Bible said about marriage, about being from one man, one woman. He was arrested on charges of hate speech. Now, I know some of you are going to sit back and read the story and go, yeah, but he was doing it in public. He was in the public square, and he was, proselytizing in public, and that's your excuse for it being okay. Because apparently, you can stand up in public at the speaker's box and say anything you want as long as society likes it. Anybody else should be arrested, in your opinion. Just keep that in mind when you're the one saying things society doesn't like. But you know what? It isn't simply because he was speaking in the public square. Now we have another article that's once again come out from the Christian News. They pointed out there's a minister in Finland, a MP, a minister of parliament in Finland, who is looking at possibly being arrested for the same thing. Not because he spoke out in public, but in an interview he was interviewed concerning his Christian beliefs, and he explained what his views are, he explained what the Bible had to say, and now they want to arrest him for hate speech. Number one, the idea behind hate speech is wrong. One set of phrase, how are you going to eliminate hate speech? There's just no way. You cannot sit there and tell somebody you can't say this because it could hurt someone's feelings. Because if you do that, then what are people allowed to say? I personally get my feelings hurt when you tell me that certain things should never be said. That insults me. That tells me I get this urge to sit there and say, what gives you the right to tell me what to say? I know part of me is that side of me that doesn't like being pushed around. But I figure it this way. The only person that has a right to tell me what to say and what not to say, now there's two. But the first and foremost is the Lord. If he doesn't tell me it's not appropriate, then I have the right to say it. The other person, I still have to listen to my mom. She might get mad. Everybody else, no. Now, I'm not sitting back saying that we should go out and try to hurt people's feelings. I'm saying that to try to make it illegal to hurt people's feelings is self-defeating, because eventually people just won't be able to speak. Now, all of this relates back to the war on Christians. How? If you can't express your own views and your own opinions and explain your own viewpoint, who's picking and choosing? It's ironic that the same viewpoint that is held by Christians is also held by Muslims and Jews and many other religions, but you don't see them getting arrested. Why? Because the society today has found it's safe to pick on Christians. They're not going to go out and blow up a building over it. Well, no, we're not. And no, I'm not telling you should blow up a building. Definitely not. That would not be how Christ would handle this. The point I'm saying is we make easy targets because our beliefs tell us it's not right to respond with violence. That doesn't make them right for doing it. Actually, it shows you how wrong they can be. We warned everybody years ago when it became a war on Christmas. Telling somebody Merry Christmas was wrong, because you're not taking into account they could be an atheist or a Jew or a Tom, a Dick, a Harry, a Muslim, a Bob. That's true. But you know what? I'm going to still wish you Merry Christmas, because that's the name of the holiday season. I'm going to wish you Happy Easter when it's Easter. If you don't believe in Easter, it shouldn't hurt your feelings one way or another. That's be like me telling you, last week was Happy Star Wars Day. You can look at me like I'm weird, but why would you be offended? Happy Star Wars Day. Or Happy Revenge of the 6th. The point is, there should be no reason this should offend you. It's words. Now, yes, words have meanings, but the meaning in this case is a holiday. That's all. But that's not the way it worked, because Christians should not be allowed to say what they want to say. Only others. And that's the way this world is heading. Now, I know you're going to sit back and go, I think you're just making mountains out of molehills. Well, maybe I am. But historically, no, I'm not. Historically, it starts with little steps. We've seen more and more steps coming more and more often. Eventually, you're going to see where the government is telling us what we can or cannot practice out of our own religion. We're already starting to see these signs that's happening. So, you need to think about it. Is there a war on Christianity? Is the Babylon Bee, was their article a little less funny and a little more prophetic? Very well possible. Think about it. This has been Waiting in Laodicea. I'm your host, A.T. Martinez. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope it makes you do some thinking. If you did enjoy the show, please hit that like button. Get your friends, your family, your co-workers, the people that you see on a regular basis, and the members of your small group, all to hit that like button. Please get everybody to subscribe. Share this video with your friends, your neighbors, your family members, your enemies. The more people that share it, the better. It's one way you can, very cheaply support this channel. And by supporting this channel, this ministry. Now, if you would like to actually support this ministry financially, if you look down in the comment section, the description of this episode, you'll see a number of places you can donate money to in order to support this ministry. You can also do so through this actual platform, whether that is YouTube or BitChute at the moment. Just hit donate. Finally, if you wanted to help in some other way, go ahead, use the email, which is waitinginlaodicea@gmail.com, and get a hold of me. Now, you don't have to just email me if you want to send some money. I don't really care. If you want to talk to me, if you want to volunteer to do something, if you want to see how you can help, and if you